Ireland, Era, the Emerald Isle, where every county is a jewel but only one's a kingdom, and in any kingdom there can only be one king. I am that king, famous for my looks, famous for my clothes, famous for my style, and famous for my football. Everyone knows me because I am the Gooch.
Well, what the hell? Gooch, what are you doing? This is my turf, like, huh?
Oh, come on, Paul, give someone else a go. Come on.
Narrator, you promised me I could do the intro.
Oh, come off it, Paul. It's just a bit of fun.
Sure, like.
Welcome to Green Tea.
Fat green tea.
Up in Aras and Uachtaráin, they're getting ready for, oh God, no, the presidential election. Will it ever end?
I think I dozed off there. As it come to this vice president.
It's president, you old fool.
Poets and visionaries,
Yes.
wonderful singers and politicians, charity workers, people who have struggled all their lives, rejected.
Yeah.
And a reality television star is now headed for the Aras.
Thank you for including us all, Michael Tweed.
I was only talking about myself.
But imagine what it'll be like in 7 years' time.
My word, 2018.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the candidates?
Good evening, I'm Dobbo with the top stories. And as the 2018 presidential election gets underway, we've a brief word from the declared candidates.
Brian, I just want to say, I'm the only candidate here with the X Factor and the only one who's pally with Simon Cowell. I want everyone to vote for Louis. John, well, that's like totally untrue, okay?
Yeah.
It's not true, is it, John?
Yeah, he's our friend.
Simon's our friend too, isn't he, Edward?
Yeah, so totally is.
We're going to be president. He'll be like our first guest in the Aras on, what's it called?
He's going to be our second guest.
Wow, who's going to be the first, John?
Barry Obama. Oh yeah, a high five.
Right, Daniel?
Well, Brian, if only they were a little bit older, you'd have to say you'd give them a vote.
Right.
Or two.
I want to make sure we get to everybody. What have you got to say to the voters, Hector?
Up your boya, yeehaw!
My ears.
Last more, let's go, bees! Way! Let yourself go! Whoa!
Okay, stay calm.
Hector here, vote for Hector here!
Jean?
Not only will I make the weather better, I'll wear lots more of those dodgy dresses that someone spit at with a scissors.
And finally, Dahi? Well, my Colleen, Jean. Right. Colleeny. It's my Colleeny Banjas. Okay. Agus hon biogali
Right,
okay, Dahi, that will do, thank you. Right, well, we've now met all of our candidates, so it's time for you at home to decide. That's it for the 6-1 News. Good evening.
3, 2, 1, and we're off the air. Well done, everyone.
Oh, great, I think that went rather well. Yes, who's that? Oh, Miriam, hi.
Am I too late, guys? Genuinely.
She just won't give up, will she?
It's the TV game show that puts some of the finest minds in the world under the spotlight. And the most devious.
Hello and welcome to Mastermind. May we have our first contestant, please?
How are you?
Name.
Bertie Ahern.
Occupation.
Public speaker, a gambler, the man who should be president, and I don't remember the rest.
Specialist subject.
The media.
You have 30 seconds, starting now.
Okay.
Who was to blame for the country's economic woes?
The media.
Who caused Fianna Fáil's meltdown in the general election?
The media.
Who ruined your chances of becoming President of Ireland?
The media.
Who caused thousands of jobs to be lost?
Definitely the media.
Who has been making your life hell for the past 3 years?
The media.
Who did you suck up to when you were on the way up?
Nobody. How did I do?
You got all 6 answers wrong.
Oh.
The answer to the first 5 questions is in fact you.
What?
And as for who you sucked up to on the way up, that was actually the media.
Shite.
Live Line is on air 75 minutes a day, 5 days a week, with a daily listenership of 400,000 people. What has Joe Duffy ever called his own show?
Okay, we've a caller on the line, on the live line. Who's that, please?
How are you, Joe? It's Joe Duffy here, Joe.
Okay,
Duffy.
Joe, how are you, Joe? Go on. What's your problem?
Well, Joe, RTE have been making fun of me.
No.
It's a programme called The Savage Eye. Nobody watches as far as I know. They're always laughing at me, taking the mickey, you know.
Sure. Who's taking the mickey, Joe?
RTE, The Savage Eye.
Who's Mickey, Joe?
Don't you start. It's not even funny. It makes me out to be a weirdo.
How much of a weirdo, Joe?
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean, how much of a weirdo?
400k a year worth of weirdo.
Well, now that you say it, it is a little bit funny. go on.
Sure. Good afternoon to you.
It's one of the glitziest nights of the year, the night when Ireland honours its A-list stars.
And welcome to the All-Star Awards for 2011 with me, Des Cal. Now, I'd say there are a few surprises in store this year, but I think we'll start with a bit of fun. What? Would you like me to name every All-Star there's ever been since 1971? No?
Get on with it.
Right, okay, we'll get going then. First of all, the silliest trousers of the year All-Star goes to Paul Galvin of Kerry.
I knew it.
Now, moving on, the next award is for the duster throwing All-Star, and that goes to Paul Galvin of Kerry. Don't believe it.
I'm amazed.
Yeah. Well done, Paul, there again.
I'm shocked.
Now, the worst sense of humour All-Star, and this one goes to... Would you believe it? Paul Galvin. Kerry.
It's a joke.
Maybe you're surprised in this category. It's the All-Star for Grania showing his favourite Gaelic player of the year. Paul Galvin of Kerry.
Get out of town.
Well done, Paul. You've won the lot. Would you like to say a few words?
I just want to say, I'm absolutely chuffed, and
Bloody disgrace.
to celebrate, I'd like to invite all of you down for a couple of drinks in a pub, Alright? Anyone?
I wash me hair.
Oh, lads, come on. Would one of you not chance it, huh?
Can I bring Marty Morrissey along for protection? He's a right little goer.
Europe has agreed to pay the next tranche of Greece's bailout loan. That's almost €6 billion. Our minister is doing us proud in Brussels.
Minister, George Lee, RT, may I have a word, please? I'm always happy to have a word with RT, George. Can you tell us what you're hoping for from the summit? Well, George, firstly we'll be dealing with the macro picture and the difficulty with senior bondholders vis-a-vis Ireland's standing regarding the ratings agencies. Right. Which, considering the EU-IMF bailout that has been in place following the bank guarantee, which, while ill-advised, did have the effect of stabilising the inward flow of funds to the banking system, thereby aiding the liquidity of the main lenders, though further assimilation of flexible bonds may well be necessary before we see light at the end of this particular tunnel. You haven't got the foggiest idea, have you? Not a clue, not a breeze. You made all of that stuff up? I'm afraid so, yeah. You've no idea how to solve the problem, have you, Minister? No, none. Nobody has. We're up the creek, I'd say. Yeah. Look, I'm going for a pint. Why don't you just bunk off the meeting and have a few scoops instead? That's a good idea, George, but you'll have to buy. I haven't a shilling. Grand. Do you know that bit about the further assimilation of flexible bonds? Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Brilliant. You almost had me going. But you're an economist, George. No one talks shite like an economist. True. So true.
Pink McWaffle and Red Claire Daly are very close. They are members of the technical group. Technically useless.
Order, please.
Mine's a pint of stout, Shane, me bio. Good man. What do you have, Claire? You're looking well tonight.
We will continue to drink from the bitter cup, comrades, until the revolution comes.
No, ladies and gentlemen. This is a meeting of the technical group of independent members of the Dáil, not Biffo's bar lobby. And certainly not of the bloody Central Committee of the Communist Party, Miss Daly.
Independent members. I like the sound of that.
Oh, shut up, Miss Piggy. I mean Miss Mitchell O'Connor. Apologies.
I do love it when you get all angry and domineering, Lord Ross.
Jesus, just chillax, baby, chillax. I don't suppose you even like Lord Ross, do you?
To light one of your peat fires, I suppose, Flanagan?
No, you big ages, to light this here spliff. The only bog you've ever seen is a seat on it and a chain to pull when you're finished.
Stop it! You know quite well you can't smoke in here, Flanagan.
Why?
The regulations.
Oh, just don't talk to me about regulations, Shane.
Yes, quite. Anyway, to the business of the day, fellow independents.
Business, just don't talk about business either there.
Poor me.
I had to sell the vineyard to my brother. The bank is after me apartments and I'm seriously thinking of selling my wardrobe on eBay.
Oh, don't do that, you handsome big hunk, until I've had a chance to go through your drawers. There might be something there I'd like.
Just go easy, Claire.
Get away out there. Mix a man of the people. True. After all, pink is only a shade away from red. And look what he's done for the working class.
Especially those workers whose pensions he forgot to pay. Chisholm in a bad way.
Don't worry, Mick. I look after you. Come here. He's a big old softy. The working classes must stick together. Oh, God. Another one has escaped my clutches. Oh, well. Try and try again. Shane. Where are you, Shane?
Well, Grania, here we are, like, just you and me. Nice bottle of wine, fancy restaurant, just good friends, like.
Pals.
Buddies.
Mates.
I have. I put a few of them in my top pocket of my Prada jacket, just in case. They're extra large as well, green and gold and ribbed.
Oh, Paul, I didn't think you liked being ribbed.
What are you trying to say? What are you saying? How dare you? And where's my ribeye steak, by the way? I ordered it 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Are you eyeballing me, waiter?
No.
Are you eyeballing me?
I'm not. I swear.
Come on! I'll take on the whole restaurant! What are you gonna do? Send in the f***ing army! I'll take his all on!
Welcome back to Live Line. Okay, what to play is the tape that everyone is talking about. This is a tape recording which was made in a restaurant 10 years ago that could change the course of this presidential election. Incredible stuff, incredible. Of course, David Norris is involved as well, and he was having dinner with Sean Gallagher 10 years ago. Roll it there, Siobhan. Play it there.
So, Sean, will you have another vintage Armagnac? It's very mature and full-bodied.
That's not exactly my image now, but after a good dinner, I'm game for anything as an entrepreneur.
Good Lord, steady on, man.
I am.
Now, what is all of this about you and your attitude to consensual relations with Fianna Fáil?
I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I never had consensual relations of any kind with Fianna Fáil.
But didn't you say that you often wished you did?
You know, I never see anything wrong in principle with a young fella having a relationship with Fianna Fáil, as long as he's young enough to handle a brown envelope.
Holy Mary, full of grace.
In fact, quite honestly, when I was a young fella myself, I often wished that an older, more mature member...
Dear God, you dirty thing! You should be ashamed of yourself!
A more mature member of Fianna Fáil would take me in hand and introduce me to the secret ways, the secret ways of the party. A tough, masterful older man like Charlie Haughey.
Quite enough, you antichrist!
What?
You filthy demon!
There we go. There's the full tape, friends. Totally shocking and disturbing, you could describe it. You can decide. The Live Line is open, a bit like the outcome of next Thursday's election. Talk to Joe, friends, or read Joe. It's all just Joe.
From Provo to President? Is it possible that Mr. McGuinness could actually win this thing? Ní cheapam.
Oh, narrator, you used that joke before, like...
Oh, Paul, I couldn't resist.
Alright, okay. I love this show, like...
Hello, Complaints Department. This is Vincent speaking.
Oh, I'd like to make an official complaint, please.
Hello, Martin. Nice to hear from you again. What is it this time? People mentioning the IRA again, is
No,
it?
it was that debate on TG Car the other night. It just wasn't fair.
And why not, Martin? Why wasn't it fair, Martin? Or can I call you Martine?
It wasn't fair because Higgins knows I'm no good at Irish.
Right, so what should they have done in your view?
They should have had a competition at something I'm good at.
Like what?
I don't know, like pistol shooting or something like that.
But Martin, you said you never actually hit anything when you fired a gun. Martin? I think I'll have a cup of tea now before Joe Duffy rings back about the Savage Eye.
Jerry and the Peacemakers are in northern Spain. They never walk alone.
Si, senor, we will give up the fight. What is it you say? No more killing. We take the deal. But lo siento, it will not be easy.
Well, but respect, I think you'll get used to it. I mean, I remember the first time I walked past a shopping centre and thought, you know, half a ton of fertiliser would do wonders for this place.
Very good. What are you thinking, Tony? I think it's important that we find out what the Spanish is for They Call Me the New Jesus Christ.
Well, I wouldn't call your next book that, Tony.
Why not?
It's the name of Martin's new book.
I think there's just one other thing.
And what is that?
Well, I have a memory like a rhinoceros thing with the dig out. dig out.
Wasn't there a mention of a dig out early on?
Well, I've got to hand it to you, Bertie.
There we go, thanks.
Well, I didn't mean to hand it to you right now.
Well, Bertie, you really are worth your weight in...
Punts would be fine. I know nothing of this easy talking dineros.
No, I never eat the dineros. I just want the dash.
Very good.
Any more wars for us to solve, lads?
It's a pity that Libya thing is over already.
True. Terrible shame.
It's going very well in the radar so far. Fair play to you, fair play.
Have you decided who you're going to vote for in the presidential election next week?
Oh, that thing with the seven.
Yes.
I'm thinking of voting no.
Next patient, please.
Hello, doctor, hello.
You come now. You can lie on the couch, make yourself comfortable.
Very good, thanks.
Now, what is the problem?
Well, I think I'm going to vote for Michael D. Higgins.
Well, it's not really a problem, is it?
But it is, doctor. You see, I'm beginning to understand him.
Oh, doctor, sorry, I've just dropped my clipboard. Right.
Yeah.
You said you understand him. What do you mean?
Well, when he's quoting poetry and talking about his vision for Ireland, I know what he means.
This is very, very serious. Tell me, do you know what Mary Davis is talking about?
No.
Do you think David Norris is marginally off his trolley?
I do, yeah.
Do you believe Gray Mitchell was raised by wolves in the Wicklow Mountains?
Not at all, no.
Do you believe Sean Gallagher and Bertie Ahern were doing it together?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Do you think the Russians tried to kill Dana?
No.
Do you believe a word Martin McGuinness says?
No, but I do understand everything Michael D says, you know. So be honest, doctor. Is there a cure for this or what?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
It's a very serious illness and it's highly contagious.
Really?
We're going to have to lock you up.
All right.
It's lunchtime at RTE and the poor downtrodden workers have parked up their jags and gone on strike. You could say they're on the front line.
Yeah, Marion, I have to say, I absolutely adore your placard. Impeccable grammar, if I might say. Right, thanks, Pat.
Okay, let's do it, guys.
Okay. No pay cuts. Leave our wedge alone. No pay cuts. Leave our wedge alone.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
God, I'm really freezing out here. Whose stupid idea was it to mount a picket on Montrose anyway?
Well, as a man of my vast experience could tell you, Ryan, we have to butt it up to our employers, show them that the working classes have, ipso facto, the upper hand, as it were. Take it easy, Marion. Well, at least I could smoke as much as I like out here.
But it's freezing.
As a matter of fact, Ryan, the ambient temperature to a trained scientific observer like me isn't even 2 degrees centigrade.
Oh, for heaven's
Would
sake.
someone just throw another bundle of those remainder JFK books of Ryan's on the brazier, will you? With pleasure, Marion.
But you know, where's the support? They're all ignoring us. Derek Mooney left us here like a flock of tits and Sean O'Rourke was so busy with his rosary beads he didn't even see us.
Oh, here comes support now. What's happening here? What are you blocking up the door for? What are you idiots doing out here? We're just following your lead, Eamon. You know the way you stuck it to your employer, Dennis O'Brien, last weekend. Shut your mouth, Kenny.
Whoa.
The people of Ireland pay Eamon Duffy, not Dennis O'Brien.
Really?
But I have to say, that was outrageous treatment of your colleague.
Well, I do concur. I have complete sympathy with my colleague, a great friend,
Sam Smith.
a marvellous broadcaster, and one of the finest men in Ireland. And the minute I see Brian O'Driscoll, I'm going to let him know my feelings.
What about his treatment of George Hook? Now, let me through here.
Breaking the picket line.
Major.
Welcome back to the programme, welcome back. Talk to Joe, friends. Okay, in another live line exclusive, we have the taped conversation between Squinton O'Toole and David Norris in the Dublin restaurant, recorded in February 1988. Incredible run of fortune for the live line.
Well, it's been a wonderful lunch, David. I'd like to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Maybe a touch too much wine, Squinton, but there is something I want to get off my chest before we leave. Do tell all. I am your friend. You know this Joyce thing? You know the way everyone looks up to me like a Joycean scholar? But can I say, you are probably the greatest such person in the world. Thank you, Squinton, but the fact is... Yes, David. I think his writing is a pile of old crap. What? I don't understand a bloody word of it. Wait, what? I mean, Dubliners, what was that about? And Finnegan's Wake? I'd love to know what he was banging on about there when he wrote that pile of nonsense. But surely Ulysses is one of the greatest literary works of all time. No, never read it. I beg your pardon? I've tried, Squinton. Believe me, I've tried, but I can't get past page 4. It's utter shite. God heavens, what if this gets out? I'm ruined, Squinton. Okay. Please, do keep it to yourself. There, of course. Anyway, of course. It's time for me to go. I have a busy afternoon ahead. I'm making a speech in the Shannon. I've got to collect my sick pay, and I'm taking a party of American Joyce fans around Sandy Cove. So, Squinton, not a word. No, mum's the word.
Mother of God, oh dear God. Talk to Joe, friends. Flood us with your comments and concerns.
And so, green tea drinkers, the nation holds its breath. This day next week it'll be all over. We'll all know who our 9th president will be. And there'll be no more talk about the age of consent, impoverished childhoods, who is or isn't in Fianna Fáil or the IRA, Eurovision, quangos or poetry. What on earth are we going to do then? Sloan, August, here comes Charlie Bird.